one project-based learning that were created by the West Virginia teachers. The WVEIS, or West Virginia Education Information System, was a project created in 1990 by the state of West Virginia to ensure standardized data collection and reporting to West Virginia Department of Education. The lesson title is Hate Free Can We? Is a lesson for social studies for the 11th grade. And this will be examined and reported by yours truly, Melbourne Piccio. Project-based learning is a dynamic classroom approach in which students actively explore real-world problems and challenges and acquire a deeper knowledge. The project-based learning typically is grounded in the following elements like role-playing, real-world scenarios, blended writing genres, multiple reading genres, authentic assessments, authentic audiences, real-world expertise brought into the classroom, units that assess multiple skills, units that require research and comprehension of multiple subjects, student choice, collaboration, and multiple methods of communication such as in writing, oral speaking, visual presentations, publishing, and others. The Hate Free Can We module were developed using the PBL. The idea for the Hate Free Can We project was started in January 2009 when a local African American woman was assaulted by a woman in white sheet with KKK written on it. By the way, the Ku Klux Klan or the KKK or the Klan is a movement in the United States that were reported hurted and even killed numbers of people, not only blacks but also other nationalities such as Jews and even their fellow Americans that are anti-Klans. Many students seem to think that this event only happens in other places and not in their community, and their community is immune from this kind of behavior, especially hate crimes. The lesson is intended for the 11th grade under social studies. As mentioned earlier, this was created by the teachers of West Virginia for West Virginia Information System of West Virginia Department of Education. So, what is hate crimes? Merriam-Webster defined it as any of various crimes such as assaulted or defacement of property when it is motivated by hostility to the victim as a member of a group based on color, creed, gender, or sexual orientation. Hate crime is not only happening in West Virginia or in the United States, but even in the world and here in our country, in the Philippines. Assault with other members of group, particularly in terms of religions, ethnicity, and genders, are happening all over the archipelago. A world with no violence or conflicts and fears are what we are needing now. And I also believe that we can achieve it if each of us will learn how to respect and accept other people regardless of their background, color, gender, sexual orientation, economic status, religion, and age, and others. And this idea can be propagated through education. A very powerful tool to change the course of the world, to make it a better place to live for each of one of us today and for the future generations. Here are the objectives directly taught or learned through discovery. Demonstrate ways of citizens that can work cooperatively to resolve personal, local, regional, and world conflicts personally. The evidence of success in achieving such is that students will keep running log in notebook and to develop interview questions to interview appropriate officials to validate the need to work cooperatively to resolve the hate crimes in their community. Next, to develop positions and formulate actions on the problems of today and predict challenges of the future like terrorism, religious conflict, weapons of mass destruction, population growth. Examine concerns, issues, and conflicts characterized as universal human rights, for example, Holocaust, diversity, tolerance, and genocide. And next is compare and evaluate the impact of stereotyping, harmony, acts of altruism, and other behaviors on individuals and groups. Though this is a learning material for social studies, this also relates to hone other skills that are fitted to the 21st century skills. The 21st century skills are a set of life abilities that students need to develop in order to succeed in the information age. These skills are important to learners because it equips learners to survive in the 21st century jobs or careers. The first skills that is into this module is the thinking and reasoning skills. These skills are important because it helps students to use higher end of Bloom's taxonomy known as the HOTS, HOTS, or the higher order thinking skills. And information and communication skills, wherein the student recognizes information needed for problem solving, can efficiently browse, search, and navigate online to access relevant information and evaluate such information. Based on the performance objectives, The students must know technical literacy, particularly in the use of the internet, word processing, how to convert information from one format to another, to create a wiki, how to listen, how to write expository essays, time management skills. And students or learners must do how to show how they work collaboratively to help solve conflicts peacefully, evaluate the impact of hate crimes and altruism on society, determine what is categorized as human rights, and recognize when those rights have been violated, develop positions against hate crimes, develop actions to deal with hate crimes, predict challenges related to discrimination and persecution for the future, plan and make oral presentations by setting goals, develop interview questions and develop interviewing techniques, do analyzing data, define and describe problems, of course, research and inquire, draw warranted conclusions, submit work on particularly in a timely fashion, and organize, synthesize, and classify information. In the module, the student collaborate with peers, experts, and others to contribute to a content-related knowledge base using technology to compile, synthesize, produce, and disseminate information models and other creative works. The driving question that will pose a springboard for students is to answer this question: how can citizens create a hate crime-free environment? The learners will be assessed in two assessment plans, which is the output for major group products and out result of the major individual products. In order to assess and reflect learners' output, the teacher is provided of tools such as rubrics, charts, questions that will be able to see learners' output in the program. These tools can be downloaded online, particularly in the site. Students and learners can use several resources in the whole course, such as the school-based individuals, like school technology integration specialists. This is to assist students in the technical aspect, and the Learning Resource Center and other school teachers with, of course, with under similar disciplines. Other resources such as technology is also needed and must be provided, such as computers and internet. Of course, there should be an internet and presentation software. Other entity or individuals that will help students to flourish their learning, such as human rights activists, possibly a victim of hate crime, law enforcement official, prosecuting attorney, and a city council member. And other materials such as newspaper articles, logbook, and graphic organizers are also important. There are 12 steps to complete the process. The step 1, of course, is the start up of the program. This is where the students will be introduced about the issue. Just like what we did is about the issue on the KKK and the assaulted woman. This is also where the driving question provided to the students on how can citizens help to create a hate-free or crime-free environment. Step 2. This is where students will fill out the vocabulary knowledge chart that is included in the file. The group will use internet to verify definitions and research the application of terms. And of course, complete the quiz after. For the next step, each student in the group will select one of the targeted or victims from the previous day's assignment and using the internet, LRC, or any other resources or research. The student will also present the findings individually to the entire class using evidences. Next, the members of the group will compare and contrast the reasons for and the impact of intolerance on the different groups through group discussion as the teacher observes. The students will identify similar behaviors and develop a graphic organizer to illustrate types of behaviors or actions used to discriminate or persecute peoples or particularly groups. And then, the group now will re-examine the lunch and each student will fill out the 5WH chart on crime. As mentioned, this chart is available and can be downloaded in this site. The students will identify what human rights are, and this is also the time where students will use the running log they have been keeping and the internet to make research the local area or state to document and analyze or particularly other hate crimes and to develop a hypothesis as to why. Using the information gathered, the student will each write a reflective essay answering these questions. What constitutes a hate crime and how do hate crimes violate human rights? Group research will be conducted using the internet and other resources to determine if the local community or the state has hate crime legislation. In this moment, The student will develop questions for an interview for a local police officer, human rights activist to discuss, depending on the outcome of the research, why there is ordinance created or why there is none. The group will determine, based on the information they gathered, such as strategy, plan, proposal, to combat hate crimes in their community. On that note, this will serve as culminating project or product, and it will base on the answers to the research in steps 5 or 6. The culminating product could be the development of hate crime legislation based on step 6 or creating other schools activities for young people. Please note that the amount of time to be allotted will depend on groups' decisions on as to what the product will be. Step 8 is there you go. Step 8 is surprising part for the students. This is where a twist will be provided that might affect the direction of the student's product depending on what students think of the twist. The twist could entail more time for different kinds of research and investigation. For the twist, the students will be given a scenario where the local clan group has applied for a license to have a parade through the city. At this point, each group will now present their strategy, plan, proposal to the entire class in any form of the group chooses. Here, the students will review the work of other group. And then for the step 10, based on the peer reviews, they have the chance to refine the strategy or the proposal that they will present to the local city council. And based on the result on step 10, the class will take a vote and select a group who will represent their class and who will present their final product to the city council. Or, if time permits, all groups can present their works to the city council. And this is step where presentation of their works based. This is the moment where presentation will be assessed by the city council. After the entire processes, it is important to debrief students through writing a reflection paper on their experience and a group discussion. And for the teachers, they can now evaluate the final product and other outputs of the student and also to debrief the city council members. Here are my comments and feedbacks regarding the learning materials. The module is using the strength of the learner's assets. There are several activities created that suits to different learning styles of the learners. So it's very learner-centered approach. According to some studies conducted, the social studies is considered one of the boring subject according to students. This is primarily because, according to the studies, majority of the teachers are using textbook methods. The project-based learning approach is, I think, the most innovative way to deliver social studies subjects, since it can help students to use and transfer the learning that they earn in their other fields or other subject and let the student involved in all of the activities along the entire course of the program. It provides learner to use all its system from brainstorming to decision making and finishing all the tasks required. Through the experience, the student can learn new things through self-discovery. Laying out all the needs of teachers and students is making the learning more accessible. Since it's online, it can be easily accessed not only by the teachers and students but all of individuals who have capacity to access it using technology such as the computer and the internet. Tools and other materials such as the quiz, rubrics, and other activities are all posted, hence can help teachers to use this unit to promote and study peace education and social studies education. This unit is a great help to tackle and study issues related to hate crimes here in the Philippines. Instead of KKK, use a local scenario that can capture students' attention. Also, use it in the driving question such as for the springboard. The approach is very much suited with our K-12 curriculum. The integration of different areas from technology, values, education to social studies is helping the learner to provide a holistic education for all. However, with modules with high dependency to technology, it is limiting its results for schools or institutions that do not have much access on such aspect, particularly in the other parts of the country. Also, the PBL will be some kind of toxic and tiring for students if this approach will be used by most of the subjects in the school, such as in sciences courses, and especially if the students are not that versed in this approach. Hence, PBL must be introduced to lower levels so that students are to be more prepared for the activities needed in higher levels. With this activity, I was able to understand and got grasp about PBL and hope I was able to share and increase awareness to you about the beauty of PBL and the purpose of this unit by Teach 21. Thank you, mabuhay, and salamat po.
Oh, di ba? How do I look?